This is the design guide for the Simple Peel wallpaper ad unit. We'll go ahead and start by previewing this ad unit. And as you'll notice, there's two elements here. There is the corner peel, which you're seeing here, opening and closing, as well as a wallpaper element to the ad that you're seeing behind. You notice there's a repeating image here with lions that are repeating behind that have taken over the HTML background. Now, this is a relatively simple ad to put together in that the corner peel just contains one static image, JPEG, PNG, or GIF, whatever you want to put in here. And then the actual wallpaper unit can either be set to be one repeating image, like you're seeing here in this ad, or you can design it to be one large image instead of a repeating image that fits perfectly behind your site, and that allows you to take advantage if your site's laid out with HTML views behind your content like you're seeing around here in between. You can do some cool things as a designer to actually fill in those spaces perfectly, and the easiest way to do that is to set up just one large background image. But if you just have a tiling image, a smaller one like this for a logo or something like that from the advertiser, that's going to work great as well. So moving over to editing this ad, one of the first things to note is as soon as we put this into our library, you'll notice when we preview from here, all we see is the corner peel. We no longer see the background wallpaper portion of the unit. The reason that is because it's not going to benefit you to create this ad using our sample page layout. The reason being is that's not going to match up with how your site is laid out. So if you got a nice repeating image that looked perfect within our sample site, you're going to transfer that, make it live on your site, and it's no longer going to match one-to-one. So it's important to note that the protocol here for any wallpaper unit is to start by going over to your campaigns area. We'll create a new campaign or add it to an existing one. We'll call this new. And once you're in that campaign, go ahead and do a new ad placement and actually make this live. So we'll just real quick, we'll call it my first placement. Click on update, select the ad from your library, and then go ahead and get the ad code for your particular ad server. Now, once you get the ad code, you place it live on a test page. So mynewspaper.com/test, whatever you have set up as a test page, go ahead and deploy that live. That's the first step. Then when you come back in here to start editing, you're going to come into the campaigns area, not back to your library because this is technically a live ad now. So we're going to come back to campaigns, open up our ad placement. I didn't actually put it live, but once it's live, it'll look more like this. Click expand view, and then click on edit from here. So when we do that, that's going to take us back into the editor, which I'll stay here for sample purposes, but remember, you're within your campaigns area accessing the edit portion, and now we'll go into the different configurations for this. Once you make any edits and you click save, you're going to go back over to your test page to see them live, and so you can mesh it perfectly with how this is going to run on your site in real time on that test page. So coming down to settings for this particular ad, the first settings all have to deal with the corner peel portion of it. The second half all have to deal with the HTML wallpaper background image. So the first settings, do you want it to auto expand on initial render, yes or no? That's pretty self-explanatory. When a user comes, do you want it to automatically open the corner peel for them? If you click yes, then it asks you, do you want to limit the number of times that happens? Meaning a cookie is going to be dropped by selecting yes, and you can say, I only want it to automatically open once every 24 hours per unique visitor. So if the same person comes back an hour later to your home page, that unit is not going to automatically expand. They'll have to manually click on expand. But if they come back 25 hours later, it'll expand once again and drop a new cookie. Do you want it to delay when it auto expands, meaning when they first come to your site, would you like it to wait 10 seconds and then automatically expand? That's where you set that. Would you like it to auto collapse after it auto expands? If you select yes, that means you have a time. How long do you want it to wait? Another 10 seconds after it auto expands, it would automatically collapse by setting this to yes 10 seconds later. Do you want it to auto collapse when you mouse off the expanded state? Meaning if I'm interacting with the corner peel over here and move my mouse away, If I select yes, it'll automatically close. Do you want to add a teaser animation time? Meaning, do you want to limit the number of times that little teaser moves back and forth? If yes, you put a certain delay. After 5 seconds, it'll stop. If you select 0, it'll continue animating indefinitely. Close button, left or right, so we'll preview real quick. That means the close button on the corner peel. Sorry, let's preview that here. So we're showing the preview here of the close button. So here it's in the left-hand position, meaning at the bottom left-hand corner. If I click close here, that's going to close the ad. If I select right, that's going to move it into the upper right-hand corner, so that the close button is now located here instead of down at the end. Moving on now, those are all the settings for the actual corner peel. Now the next set of settings are for your actual background image. So again, if you've uploaded a small image, you're going to want this to repeat. And how it repeats in terms of horizontally or vertically, you set that here. So I set it to repeat if it's a small image, and I want it to repeat X. That's the default, is it's going to repeat horizontally. If you want it to start at the upper left-hand corner, middle, and repeat vertically down, you'd say repeat Y, repeat along the Y-axis downwards. The HTML positioning is, where do you want the first image to start? So if I put left top, it would start here and repeat to the right, and then like a typewriter come down to the beginning and continue to repeat to the right. If I say set it to be center, then the image is going to start here and repeat out to the left and to the right. And that's going to be set depending on how you've justified your actual website. So if you have a center justified site, leave it as center. If your site is actually left justified, it'll probably make more sense to start out in the left-hand corner and start repeating to the right. The next option, change background color of HTML page. So if we select yes here, we can set the color here up in step 3. If, for instance, let's say you had an Irish pub that was doing the takeover, and you had one big image back here that was a giant leprechaun, but for users that had super high resolutions, their screens come all the way out to here. Maybe you make the background behind that image green and have a nice little fade within your background image so that it looks nice, so that it doesn't abruptly transition from your image back to, or from the advertiser image back to, say, your blue background. So that's an option. You can use that or not. If you put no and just have the image tiling the whole time, that'll continue to tile out in that instance. But if you're just using one big static image, changing the background color can be a nicer way to do it. Use the wallpaper image, yes or no. In most instances, you're going to want to put yes here. And then finally, load wallpaper image and background color if you've set that. Do you want that to happen on the expand or on the render? So here we have it set to on render, meaning as soon as the page loads, that wallpaper is going to show up, whether or not the corner peel is expanded or not. If you wanted to change that to on expand, what that means is that the background image will not be taken over. It'll look just like your site normally does, and only when the user actually opens up or the ad automatically opens up, the background image swaps out. So that's a more abrupt kind of a, wow, that did a lot to my page. But the downside of that is when it closes, it goes away again, and the advertiser isn't getting the value of the background image. So that's something you can play with depending on the preference. So coming back here to your media, you'll notice it's just 3 images. One, what do you want the reveal image to be for the teaser in the upper right-hand corner? What do you want the reveal image to be for the actual open version of the corner peel? And then finally, what do you want the HTML background or wallpaper image to be? And that can be any size, either a small repeating image or a JPEG, PNG, or GIF that's, call it 1200 pixels wide and 1200 pixels tall. Up to you. You can do that either way. And then, of course, you have your colors. Click through URL. There's just one for this ad in general. So that's it for the design guide. As always, if you have any questions, you can call us at 866-467-2289.